Hi, my name is Tress Adamas, and I just wanted to tell a little bit of my story of what happened when I had a retinal detachment. And if you don't know what a retinal detachment is, it's pretty much just what happens when the retina, or the back of the eye, separates from the supporting tissue and you lose vision. Just one day after working out, I noticed that there was like a dark spot in the middle of my vision on the right eye. But, at first I probably didn't even notice it because I probably thought it was just my nose. But in reality, the retina was detaching. So anyway, so I called my doctor. He said, go to the emergency room immediately. It was a Friday night. And, I didn't want to go, but he was pretty stern in saying, like, you could lose your vision altogether and you would probably not forgive yourself if you lost your vision completely. And I was like, whoa, okay, so this is not a small thing. This is a big deal. So I went to the emergency room. They checked everything out. They said they didn't see anything. We even did an MRI just to make sure it wasn't something going on with the brain that was affecting my vision. And they didn't see anything. So they said, well, it's probably just a migraine. So, but you should follow up with an ophthalmologist or even just an optometrist. So I went to my optometrist, and he dilated my eye and took a look in there, and he said there's a tear there and it might actually be leading to a detachment. And I was really scared because I had read a little bit about what happens if it is a detachment. He scheduled me an appointment with an ophthalmologist the following morning. So I went, and my parents both went with me, and they said, yeah, it looks like you're going to need surgery, and we have one scheduled for you today at 4. And I was like, okay, we're going to have surgery. This is great. I was not excited about it, but I didn't want to lose my vision because that was what was a possibility, that I could just go blind in this eye altogether. I actually probably would prefer just to be told we're having it today versus like being told 2 weeks and then having to dread that day coming. I feel like my anxiety would have been a lot worse. But anyway, so I went into the surgery. They told me, it's pretty painless. So I was, comforted by that, but still kind of scary to be completely vulnerable in that. So what I had was called a vitrectomy, and that's where they drain all the fluid out of the eye, and they put a gas bubble, and that's after they actually laser the retina to the tissue. As the scar from the laser heals, then it will stay attached to the back of the eye. And so that's what they did. And then they also put a gas bubble in there. And what that was almost kind of like a cast that would push the retina to the back and keep it in place. But what happened is I had to look straight down, just like this, for 5 days straight. Just straight down, couldn't look up. The surgeon said I could look up every 10 minutes of every hour. But I was so afraid of doing that. I didn't want to do that. So I only looked straight at the ground. And so it was a strain on the neck. That was a hard, thing to do. I was allowed to lay on my side when I slept, but only if I was looking at the floor. So there's all these positioning things that you have to do that are frustrating. And one thing that I actually got was this mirror, and this actually helped me a lot. I could point at the TV. I could actually look at people in the face by using this, but I'll put a link in the description of this video. But I did use this a lot, even though I only had to do it for 5 days. It was a long 5 days, but it ended up healing. If this is something that you have to do, I just want to say there is hope. From what the doctor told me, it was a 92% success rate. There's just some uncomfortable positioning that you have to do. I wasn't able to work. So I run my own business, counseling practice, and we had to cancel all my appointments, and I had a forced vacation. It was not that fun, and it was around Christmas too, so that was interesting because I couldn't do a lot of the fun stuff that people were doing. But I noticed one thing that I not struggled with before was I struggled with a lot of anxiety as a result of almost losing my vision. Was able to use kind of some skills in cognitive behavioral therapy that helped me kind of alleviate the anxiety because I just would be so afraid that it was happening again, and not just in this eye, but the other eye. And so, there's some coping things that have been helpful to me in just recognizing that I don't have to freak out immediately. I have options in case something like that happens. My ophthalmologist is only 10 minutes away. So But if you notice just any type of health anxiety, you don't have to live in fear. There's some skills that you can learn just for yourself. One thing that's been helpful that's been helpful to me, and then also as a counselor, is the use of workbooks. There are a lot of really good workbooks where you can just kind of write down what you're thinking, write about your anxiety, and then come up with alternative ways that are more positive. Positive thinking is what helps you overcome anxiety and helps you think more realistically. So it's not terrifying whenever you have an issue come up. And then if you have to have something checked, you just make an appointment and you have it checked out. So there were a few times where I did that with my ophthalmologist, and he said, yes, if you have any fears, if you're seeing more floaters, because that's one of the three signs, is floaters, flashes, and then a curtain. And so I've seen floaters before, but they checked it out. They said it was fine. Even when everything's going all right, you might struggle with the anxiety, and that's what I noticed happened with me. And so I had to take some of my own medicine, the things that I teach people in counseling, and apply it to myself and recognize, okay, we don't have to be irrational. Even if the fear is rational, it does not have to destroy our entire day and leave us in terror. So anyway, so that's just a little bit of my story. The eyes healing went this week, and so I'm going to continue to follow my ophthalmologist and just stay on top of it.